Imagine the New York Rangers stepping onto the ice in Calgary with a fresh-faced lineup, hungry to ignite some offensive fire against a struggling Flames team. It's a scenario that could redefine their season. But here's where it gets exciting, because these strategic tweaks aren't just routine. They're a bold gamble to shake things up. Buckle up as we dive into the lineup shakeups and the major insights from Saturday's practice, set for their clash at Scotiabank Saddledome on Sunday night. From what unfolded during that session, it looks like every single one of the Rangers' forward lines is getting a makeover. The towering enforcer Matt Rempe won't be suiting up for his inaugural game of the campaign, sidelined by an upper body ailment he picked up after a spirited first-period scrap in their 6-5 overtime setback to the San Jose Sharks on Thursday. With Rempe heading back to New York, the team swiftly summoned 2021's 16th overall first-round selection, Brennan Othmann, on Friday, and he's poised to join the action versus Calgary. Head coach Mike Sullivan is leveraging this roster shift to mix things up, revamping all his lines during practice. In his post-session chat, he openly admitted he's chasing more equilibrium in the squad. "I would acknowledge that," Sullivan remarked. "Would you guys agree?" It's a direct question that echoes his focus on balancing the lineup. "I would acknowledge that. Would you guys agree?" Sullivan on whether this lineup is aimed at creating more balance. "I would acknowledge that. Would you guys agree? Well, do you think this is the right call?" #NYR. Vince Z. Mercogliano, at VZ Mercogliano, October 25, 2025. Achieving that harmony proves trickier without standout pivot Vincent Trocheck in the fold. The 7-time 50-point man has been on the shelf since October 9th due to an upper body issue, placed on long-term injured reserve, LTIR. He's eligible to return for the wrap-up of this Western road swing against the Seattle Kraken on Saturday, but Sullivan dropped that the 32-year-old didn't accompany the team on their 4-game trek through Western Canada and Seattle, indicating his comeback isn't around the corner. Consequently, New York has to work with their available pieces, and this is the part most people miss. Facing off against the sputtering Flames serves as an ideal launchpad for their extended away trip. Calgary kicked off the year with a 4-3 shootout triumph over the Edmonton Oilers, but has since slumped to 0-7-1, anchoring the league's basement with a mere 3 points. Maybe these revamped forward units can deliver that much-needed jolt. Let's break down the top insights from Sullivan's reshuffled combinations. Artemi Panarin and Mika Zibanejad get separated. Sullivan's standout adjustment involved parting ways with two of his top playmaking talents, Artemi Panarin and Mika Zibanejad. Fueled by a 4-point performance on October 18th against the Montreal Canadiens, Panarin's 7 points tie him with Adam Fox for the team's lead. Zibanejad might not shine as brightly on the scoresheet. He's amassed 5 points, 3 goals, 2 assists. Yet he's a dependable driver of plays, racking up a team-high 4.27 individual expected goals. Let's clarify for beginners. IXG measures a player's quality shot attempts based on location and shot type, predicting scoring potential even if the puck doesn't go in, according to Natural Stat Trick. Zibanejad kicked off the season on the wing next to center JT Miller but shifted back to center once Trocheck exited. For the last 7 games, he's been flanked by Panarin on left wing, with the duo amassing over 85 minutes of even-strength ice time together. Sullivan usually pitted this pair against the rivals' elite offensive trio, entrusting them with offensive leadership. Kudos to them for a 60.67 expected goals for percentage at 5-on-5, though they've only netted 2 goals at even strength in those 7 contests. If balance is the aim, disconnecting Panarin and Zibanejad spreads scoring prowess across a top 6 group that's craving a boost. During practice, Panarin manned left wing with Miller and Taylor Raddysh, while Zibanejad anchored Connor Sheary and Alexis Lafreniere. Miller and Lafreniere have been offensive underachievers, so Sullivan is betting that positioning Panarin and Zibanejad as anchors for the top 2 lines will distribute the load effectively. Will Cuylle shifts down from the top 6. Another skater off to a rocky launch is Will Cuylle, who was a beacon of hope during the Rangers' tough 2024-25 campaign, tallying 20 goals and 45 points while shattering the franchise record with 301 hits. The 23-year-old mostly occupied the third line in his initial Sullivan made a switch on Saturday, pairing Cuylle with a duo of 22-year-olds, center Noah Laba and the newly recalled Othmann on the third line. This forms the roster's youngest possible trio. Cuylle excelled last year by operating near the goal crease, often capitalizing on scrambles around the net. He might replicate that against kinder defensive assignments. But here's where it gets controversial. Some fans argue that burying young talent like Cuylle on lower lines stifles their development, potentially breeding frustration. Is this a smart demotion or a missed opportunity to nurture his upside? Brennan Othmann, set to slot into the third line. Othmann's return to the fold stood out, especially since this former first-round talent was demoted to the AHL Hartford Wolfpack even before the final training camp roster cuts, beating out peers like Brett Berard and Gade Perreault. With Rempe sidelined, Othmann is slated to suit up on Sunday, probably in the bottom six, after practicing alongside Cuylle and Laba. Whispers of trade talks cloud the 22-year-old's future in New York. Still, this recall offers him a fresh shot to shine in the NHL, following a subpar 22-game run in 2024-25, where he failed to score and gathered only 2 assists. Othmann has proven to be a goal-scoring machine in junior leagues and the AHL, but he hasn't lit the lamp in his 25 NHL appearances yet. Yet, if he can unleash his offensive flair while defending solidly within Sullivan's framework, he could secure a lasting NHL spot and maybe even climb to the top 6. Taylor Raddysh earns top 6 duty after Sharks' hat trick. Raddysh's second career hat trick propelled the Rangers to avoid a shutout loss on Thursday. It was a standout effort from a veteran grinder who netted just 7 goals in 80 games with the Washington Capitals in 2024-25 and 5 in 73 contests with the Chicago Blackhawks in 2023-24. He'd only scored once in his opening 8 Rangers games, but now he's leading the team with 4 goals in 9 outings. This might highlight the Rangers' sluggish offense, averaging just 2.33 goals per game, the second lowest in the league. Nevertheless, his unexpected output has earned the 27-year-old a top 6 berth. Raddysh skated right wing on the top line during Saturday's practice with Panarin and Miller. He likely can't sustain his 40.0 shooting percentage, but as long as he contributes, it lets Sullivan distribute skill across 4 lines and reserve his star scorers for the top 6. Raddysh probably won't anchor the top 6 long-term, but rewarding a player on a hot streak makes perfect strategic sense. What do you think about these lineup changes? Do you agree with splitting Panarin and Zibanejad, or is that a risky move that could disrupt their chemistry? And should young prospects like Othmann and Cuylle be given more leeway in higher lines, even if it means short-term struggles? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's debate. Lou Orlando is an alum of Fordham University, where he covered the New York Rangers for 3 seasons as. More about Lou Orlando, mentioned in this article: Artemi Panarin, Brennan Othmann, Matt Rempe, Mika Zibanejad, Taylor Raddysh, Will Cuylle. More about New York Rangers news.